In Hollywood, fame is a double-edged sword. The same spotlight that elevates stars into icons can just as quickly burn them alive. For every adoring fan who worships an actress's talent, there's a critic or an entire army online waiting to tear her down. This is the paradox of celebrity. To be loved is to be hated, and to be hated is to be noticed. Today, we explore the women who define that paradox, the most loved and most hated female actors in the world. From the darlings of cinema who can do no wrong to the lightning rods of controversy who can't seem to catch a break, the queens of affection, Hollywood's most loved women. Let's start with the women the world seems to collectively adore. These are the actresses whose names trigger smiles, whose interviews go viral for all the right reasons, and whose reputations remain remarkably untouched by scandal. At the top of this list stands Keanu Reeves' female counterpart, Sandra Bullock. She's been called America's sweetheart for over 2 decades. From Miss Congeniality to The Blind Side, her warmth, self-deprecating humor, and authenticity have kept her beloved by audiences across generations. Even as she faced personal heartbreaks, like her husband's very public cheating scandal, she handled it with quiet dignity, never resorting to public feuds or PR stunts. Sandra isn't perfect, but she's human, and people love her for that. Then there's Zendaya, the modern symbol of grace and youth. Rising from her Disney Channel roots to become a fashion icon and Emmy-winning actress, Zendaya managed to grow up in Hollywood without succumbing to its chaos. She rarely engages in drama, keeps her private life genuinely private, and projects an image of discipline, intelligence, and kindness. In an era defined by celebrity meltdowns, Zendaya's calm confidence makes her a rare gem. Anne Hathaway also deserves a place here. Though her journey wasn't always smooth, once adored for her roles in The Princess Diaries and Les Miserables, she became the internet's target during what many call the Hathaway era. A strange wave of backlash for being too perfect or too earnest. But Hathaway didn't fight back with bitterness. And of course, Meryl Streep, the timeless matriarch of Hollywood, remains untouchable. She's been called the best actress alive so many times that it's practically her title. What makes her beloved isn't just talent, it's humility. She champions other women, speaks with integrity, and never indulges in arrogance despite holding 3 Oscars and over 20 nominations. These women aren't loved because they're flawless. They're loved because they embody something real. They've learned how to stay human in an industry that rewards masks. The fall from grace, Hollywood's most hated. Now, on the other side of the coin, we find the women who face the wrath of public opinion. Sometimes fairly, sometimes not. The most hated list isn't always about wrongdoing. It's often about perception, timing, or how the media decides to frame a story. Amber Heard became one of the most controversial names in modern pop culture. Her court battle with Johnny Depp divided the internet in a way few stories ever have. Whether one believes she was a victim, an abuser, or both, one thing is undeniable. Amber became a symbol, not of justice or victimhood, but of the internet's unforgiving nature. Every facial expression, every word from her testimony was dissected, mocked, or meme-ified. The trial wasn't just about law, it was entertainment, and Heard was cast as the villain. Then there's Anne Hathaway, a woman once adored for her talent but shunned by Hollywood after coming out as Ellen DeGeneres' partner in the 1990s. She wasn't hated because of scandal or behavior. She was hated because she broke the unspoken rules of an era not yet ready to accept open same-sex relationships in mainstream Hollywood. Her career never fully recovered, revealing just how conditional Hollywood's acceptance can be. Gwyneth Paltrow is another polarizing figure. To some, she's an icon of wellness and sophistication. To others, she's the embodiment of elitism. Her lifestyle brand, Goop, became both wildly successful and deeply mocked for its pseudo-scientific claims and overpriced products. She speaks her truth unapologetically, but in doing so, often alienates those who see her as out of touch with ordinary life. And of course, Jennifer Lawrence, once the internet's sweetheart, is a cautionary tale of how quickly love turns to disdain. For years, she was adored for her authenticity and sense of humor. But when audiences grew tired of her candidness, the same qualities that made her lovable became reasons for criticism. Some accused her of being performatively relatable. Others said she had become too political. Hollywood's it girl became Hollywood's scapegoat. Why women face harsher judgment? What's interesting is that male actors rarely experience this same intensity of love and hate. Leonardo DiCaprio can date women half his age and still be admired. Tom Cruise can have a decades-long connection to Scientology, and fans still pack theaters. But when a woman missteps, even slightly, the fallout is immediate and brutal. Part of this is cultural. Society has long held women, especially public ones, to impossible standards. They must be beautiful, but humble, talented, but not intimidating, confident, but never arrogant. Take Megan Fox, for instance. Once mocked as a shallow, pretty face, she's now celebrated for speaking out about being objectified by the industry. Her career revival is both inspiring and tragic, proof that it often takes a woman years of suffering before the world realizes it was wrong about her. Or Kristen Stewart, who was once despised by the media during her Twilight days for being awkward or ungrateful. Today, she's acclaimed as one of the most talented and authentic actresses of her generation. Time didn't just heal her image, it exposed how unfairly she had been judged in the first place. The redemption arcs. Hollywood loves a good comeback story, and many of these women have written their own. Take Britney Spears, not primarily an actress, but her story embodies the same principle. Once torn apart by tabloids, she's now seen as a survivor of systemic abuse. Public perception flipped not because Britney changed, but because the world finally grew empathetic enough to see her humanity. Similarly, Lindsay Lohan, the once disgraced star of Mean Girls, has reemerged after years of chaos. Fans who once mocked her now root for her recovery and stability. The internet, it seems, loves nothing more than redemption. Even Angelina Jolie, who was once the villain in the Brad Pitt-Jennifer Aniston love triangle, has become one of the most respected women in Hollywood. The mirror of fame. The most loved and most hated female actors aren't opposites, they're reflections of the same phenomenon. They show us how society treats women who dare to stand out, speak up, or simply exist in the public eye. Being loved by millions sounds like a dream. But as every one of these women knows, it's also a test of resilience, identity, and grace under pressure. Before you go, if you believe in supporting women who rise above judgment and redefine success on their own terms, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us for more stories that reveal the truth behind fame, power, and perception.